Hey there, Titans. In this video, we'll cover the options of embedding your form in an external site. Alright, so we have a Titan Web project here, and we want to take this. It doesn't matter if it's a single page project or multi-page project, whatever project you have with Titan Web, you can embed it in an external form using two methods, either the embed code or an iframe. And the way for you to grab this is once you publish the project, you will see that you have the embed options directly here, either iframe or embed. You also have some embed options within Salesforce, but we will cover external site, not within Salesforce, in this video. Another option to get there, if you already published your project and you don't want to go through the publish itself, you could click the, let's X out of this, the gear icon, and we'll head over to overview and we'll click on the gear next to the published, and we could see the published details right over here. Similarly there, we could see the embed code and iframe code. Now let's talk about a little bit about what this does and how it works, iframe versus embed, and when to use which. A few things before we get into it. You can see that we could determine the embed size. Normally the height doesn't really matter because it will be dynamic, it will react to the changes of the height of the form. More important is to take a note of the width. Now right now it's set to 1000 pixels width, and you could do 100, so on and so forth. One thing you want to notice here, if you have different devices in play, you want to make sure you do 100%. And the way for you to do it is to grab the code and modify it directly there. Same goes for the embed code. Same thing, you want to make sure that the width is, normally it would be 1000. Once you grab it, you want to set it to 100%. Okay, now when do we want to use the embed code, and when we use the iframe code? The embed code is great for when you want to pass variables from the parent site to the Titan form. The embed code will automatically grab whatever parameters we have on the top site and will bring it down to the iframe. Essentially, the embed code will create an iframe. We'll just create the iframe for you with the parameters that will be passed, with the URL parameters that will be passed from the parent site. So let's see a quick example of this, and what I will do is I'll grab this, and I have a little page on the site prepared, and what I want to do here first is to set the width. So I want to go here and I want to say 100% width, and you can also play with the frame border. You could either do 1 or 0. And that's it. So I'll save this, and let's go to my site here, and I'll run a refresh, and I can see that I have the border. What I will do is I'll change the border equals 0 to frame border equals 1, and so I have the site loaded. Everything is cool. Now let's see, how do I pass the parameters? So I have a parameter here in tools, custom variables, and again, doesn't matter if it's a page variable or a project variable, passes all the same, and it's called some param, and I have also contact ID, but since it's published and I want to show you that it's actually passing, what I did here is a simple condition on some param. If it's not empty, then I'll show message. So what I will do is this, hello there, and I'll run it. And now when it loads, you could see that the parameter was passed and it trickled down to my iframe. Alright, so now let's address the border. Many times you'll need to replace this with frame border equals 0 or 1, and I'll save this real quick. And we can see the change happening immediately. And we can already see it happening as soon as we load. You can see that the height changes dynamically, so once it loads, and then it will expand according to what it needs to be. So if hypothetically, and this will work the same for iframe and for embed, so let's say I'll add a strip here and the background doesn't cover it, and let's just make this repeat strip. And I'll add a button real quick. that just will add another strip just to show you how this behaves, and this will insert. And obviously whenever we're embedding, you always want to publish the project, because otherwise it will not take effect on the iframe, because before then it was just a preview, and now we have to publish in order for us to see it. So we have the button here, and if I'll add more strips, we can see that the form grows with it. And our scroll is on the browser itself and not within the iframe. So that's really great. All right, now let's talk about the iframe. So iframe is great whenever you don't need, it will still react the same way. So if I'll go over here and I'll remove my embed code and I shall save it. And again, you can customize this iframe however you like. The most important thing is, like we've done with the embed code, is to have 100% width. Whenever we have parameters, and I'll save this real quick, it's not going to pass it to the iframe. If you want to use iframe without embed code, you can still use post messages to communicate between one another, and that will do the job. And now if I go over here and refresh, I'll go to my embedded form and I'll refresh. We can see the form here just like the embed code. But if for instance I'll say some param hello there, it's not going to load. We don't see the message, just like we've seen with the embed. Here it will not pass it because this is what the embed code takes care of. One thing to note, again, very super important to have the width to 100%, because if we do not, you will not see this behavior happening. And let's demonstrate real quick. So if I'll say width 1000 pixels and I'll save this, it will take a second for the site to refresh. Let me just save it and I'll reload. And now you can see that it's already 1000 pixels. I could have given it more, but if I'll go like this and make it smaller, it will not react anymore to the width changes. And this is why it's super important to have it on 100%. And this is how it's done.